Good morning. Good morning. So for all of the other places except for Creative Genius Corner, you don't normally see me at this time on a Tuesday. It's normally 7 p.m. on a Tuesday evening, but I've decided to do my evening live this morning for a very special reason. In that a discussion ensued. This is what happens in life, isn't it? A discussion happened last night with the lovely Rachel Beattie, who is one of my successful former clients. And it's triggered an idea of us coming on here and talking live to you. And I thought, well, I might as well cover all of my social media platforms here instead of doing 2 lives and doing one tonight. So you've got me at 11 o'clock. You can watch this on replay. So, you know, if 7 o'clock is better for you, you can still watch it. It will still be there. So Rachel will be joining us in a few minutes. She's running late because she's caught in traffic. And this is one of the very endearing and amusing traits of ADHD. So we're going to be talking today about ADHD and creativity, how they're connected and how it doesn't have to stop you from following your dreams. And Rachel has some really exciting news to discuss with us. So for those of you that don't know me, I am Mandy Nicholson. Good morning, Michelle. And I am the Creative Genius Consultant. I'm an artist, an author, and I help creative women to launch, grow, and scale their businesses and make more money. And more, I am attracting lots of ladies with ADHD because there's a huge connection. Rachel is here now, so I'm going to let her in. Hi, Rachel.
Hello.
Hello. Let's hope that connection is okay.
I'm in the call, as you can see.
I can see that. Where are you? Can you hear me? Hello? No, we've lost the connection.
Oh, is the connection not good?
No, it's okay. Yeah, you were just a little bit hicky there. Can you hear me all right? No.
Oh, so.
Hello? Technology. Yeah, go and come back again. That's okay. I can talk for England. Right, so Rachel was on my Creative Mastermind program. She was one of the first clients that signed up with me when I launched it back in 2019. I think she actually joined in 2020. And one of Rachel's struggles was that she could not stay on track with something. She would be flitting between thing to thing. And even though I held her accountable and tried to pin her down to things, she really struggled with that. And at the same time, my daughter was going through the diagnosis for ADHD. And we sat one day and I'd been writing my observations down of the creative women that I worked with. And it ended up that I had this list of things that I saw in creative women. And my daughter read it and she said, Mum, that's the diagnosis for ADHD. I had a conversation with Rachel. And I said to Rachel, do you think you could be ADHD? And she was like, possibly. And she was literally diagnosed within a few months of that conversation. There's a huge, really strong connection between creativity and ADHD. And I think over history, and hopefully Rachel will join us at some point today. She'll probably go back to the house and she'll pop on when she's ready. There's an intrinsic connection between the diagnosis ADHD that people are experiencing at the moment. Lots of women are being diagnosed. One of the other things that's happening is lots of people are jumping on this and then setting a business up around it to try and make money because there are people being diagnosed. Whereas us creatives have just been this way and functioning and getting on with life for decades. And I think I have ADHD. My daughter has ADHD. My son is autistic. A lot of the women I come across and work with are somewhere on that spectrum. So Rachel will join us and start to discuss that today because I want her to tell you her story. And let's just see if she's left me a message. Right. She's not left me a message, so she must be heading home. So I'm going to start with talking about this document. You can download this from my website. It's a freebie. It's called The Mind of a Creative. Okay. This is the document that I wrote when I had that discussion with my daughter. Okay. And what it is 35 observations I have made about the women that I work with, the mind of a creative. This is the document my daughter said. That's the diagnosis for ADHD. So the two are definitely connected. So if your mind literally never slows down, okay, nonstop and filled with curiosity, do you feel like your mind just never stops? Yeah, that's actually an ADHD and a creative trait. It's constantly coming up with ideas and things that you could be doing other than what you're currently doing. There never seems to be a break from the thought. It's like a machine constantly running, and it's exhausting. It can leave you with great fatigue, but it's also the source of some really fun experiences and memorable discussions. So there's lots of positives around some of these traits. Women for years have been put in boxes, have been put in asylums for being mad, have been burnt at the stake as being witches. And actually, we've got very different brains. There's ADHD in women is becoming a huge surge in society as a diagnosis. And I think it's been there forever. We've got very different brains. And if you're a creative, you've got a very different brain anyway. This all happens in your head. So, things like you will challenge the status quo, you'll ask questions, and sometimes you won't think about who you're asking these questions of, why you're asking them, where you're asking them. Circumstances won't matter. You'll just ask, what if, why not? Why can't we do this? My daughter is thinking she has ADHD and you are describing her. Yeah, my daughter too. So if you notice inequality, you'll speak up. My daughter is really strong on this. She's carrying the flag for every single cause. You name it, Black Lives Matter, the LGBT sort of fight that they are having, every cause, she will fight it. She does not like inequality. This is a trait of ADHD. It's also a trait of creativity because we paint inequality, differences in the world. We create inequality and differences in the world. So it can make the people around you uncomfortable because you can be a little bit outspoken, but it's necessary for us to discover new ways of doing things. Asking what if and why not, great way of discovering how to do things differently. You embrace your genius if others don't. So you'd rather be authentic than popular. You'd rather be the weirdo in the room. You would rather be the one in paint splattered dungarees and shirts than the suited and booted set that you sometimes have to feel that you have to be part of in business, and you really don't. You may have been a rebel, the goth, the hippie, and you will dig your heels in when challenged. You want your individuality seen and heard. That's also an ADHD trait because you don't understand why people have opinions. That happens a lot. Happened a lot with my daughter before we realized what was going on. And it would upset a lot of people a lot of the time. Number 4, you have difficulty staying on task. Shiny object syndrome, that's common for creatives. It's common in ADHD. Shiny object syndrome, it's part of your daily routine. You battle it all the time. You find yourself chasing the next shiny idea instead of completing the task that you're on. I've done it this morning. I've decided to just put this live out onto all channels instead of doing my live tonight because it was a good idea to do it. It wasn't a shiny, but it was one of them things, right, I'm just going to do it. You're impulsive. You're going to make decisions on the spot. Sometimes they'll be right, sometimes they'll be wrong, but actually you feel like you've got to do it, so you just do it. That's an ADHD trait. You make big mental leaps to new possibilities. So you can be here, but you're like, right, we could go there. And it's a massive mental leap. And you get bored really, really quickly. Yeah, this can be beneficial for challenging yourself, but detrimental to your income because you often don't allow an idea to consolidate and create revenue consistently before you're off on another project. I do this all the time with my clients. Any of them that are watching will be nodding. One thing, focus on one thing before you move on to the next and get it on rails and get it working for you. So number 5, you create it in cycles from high and manic to low slumps. So you can have real highs where creativity and creative flow is really high. And that can lead you sometimes into a real low where your mind can't function and you can't function. and it stops you in your tracks almost, and you feel like the whole world's against you, everything's a disaster, nothing's going to work. So that's the difference, is that you will go from high to low. This great idea that's going to change the world and make you millions to, oh my God, the whole world's a disaster. It's not small leaps, it's big highs, and that's an ADHD trait. You noticing your cycles and adding routine tasks that make a difference to your business when you're in a slump is necessary for your survival and growth. I'm waiting for an assessment diagnosis. I've scored highly on the online test. It will explain so much yet. Don't be frightened to go and try and get a diagnosis. My daughter Becca had to fight for a diagnosis because she was 21. And let me just explain that, you know, my son is autistic, and it took me 5 years to get him diagnosed because the system was broken. I also tried to get Becca diagnosed because at 15, I knew there was something going on and she wasn't coping. And she had the autism assessments and she was like, no, there's nothing wrong with you. And they diagnosed her with anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder, which was those are symptoms of ADHD, by the way. Both of those are symptoms of ADHD. So if you're being fobbed off by the doctors with depression and anxiety, those are symptoms of ADHD. Look at the symptom list for ADHD. It's huge. And we experience this as creatives with our highs and lows. So number 6, you need time for your soul. You need self-soothing, meditation, periods of solitude to recharge. You may be introverted. You may come across as extroverted, but you actually might be an introvert, like your own company. Need to step back from time to time in order to consolidate the thoughts in your head and the things that you are feeling, because you're very sensory. Very sensory. You don't just see it and hear it, you feel it and experience it. So that's why you need time to step back from society, move away from people, and don't do peopling for a while. Number 7 is you need space to create. Your environment is everything. And Michelle, if you're still watching, you've just been through this, sorting out your studio. So your environment delivers peak performance. And when you're constrained in a small space, or you have overfilled it with stuff, because that's an ADHD trait, by the way, you feel trapped and less able to be creative and produce good work. So it actually puts you in that downward cycle again. So seek opportunities for additional creative space wherever you can. Yeah, because that will increase your creative output. So even if it's a garden shed, or, you know, Lucy Sheffield has a caravan outside the house that she got for free on FreeCycle. So yeah, there's opportunities out there. Number 8 is you focus intensely. You tune out to the world when you are focused on your creation. But if you're interrupted, you are slow to recover. It actually, even a 20-second interruption, okay, even the phone ringing, even if you don't answer it, it can knock you off your creative flow for 20 minutes. So ADHD trait is, you know, imagine being ADHD in the workplace and you're concentrating on your work and somebody comes and interrupts you, and it can take you 20 minutes to get back on task. That ends up with people in the workplace being disciplined for performance. And if you've got your own business, it can actually stop you in your tracks from making money. So these are serious things that need to be talked about and addressed, because, you know, once you know what the diagnosis is, once you know that you do these things, you can put steps in place for what happens if I get an interruption and I can't get back to that task. What happens? What can I do in those 20 minutes that productive, that isn't going to lead me to being in trouble? So that's kind of why that one is so important. You feel really, really deeply. I'm just going to send a message to Rachel, because bear with me. I don't care about lives, you know, just right, there we go. I just sent a message to Rachel just to remind her to join when she can. So you feel deeply, human expression personified. And you see that on the canvas or in the work that you create. If you think about some of the great artists, let's think about Van Gogh. I've got a Van Gogh room next door to me. You know, this man felt deeply. It came through in his work, the feelings, the expression. As creatives and as ADHD, the depth of feeling is deeper. And this makes the normies, other people, uncomfortable, makes them really, really uncomfortable because we're so expressive. Yeah, so expressive. You scream at the canvas just to make a droplet of an image on there. It's poured out into whatever you do, whether that's creativity, whatever it is. And it's the same in your business. You get so passionate about your business idea, you forget to do some of the other strategic things that go along with that. It's complete contrast. You are dark and light. And it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So you live on the edge of joy and depression. This is number 10. You live on the edge of joy and depression. Your sensitive heart is the source of your genius. It really is, but also the source of your suffering. You experience suffering. The phrase "an artist suffers for her work" is so true. And it's this level of deep feeling that allows you to produce your best work. If we didn't have this feeling, we wouldn't be able to produce good work. My daughter, who is ADHD, feels everything, and she's passionate, and she can have a tantrum and stomp off and say she's never going to do something again, and she can be back in half an hour doing exactly that. So, Rachel's made it to her office, and I've made it to number 10 on the creative list. Hi, Rachel.
Oh, super sorry.
Okay, well, you know me, I've just been filling the time talking about this creativity and these connections between ADHD and creativity, and this list that I ended up writing. Yeah. When Becca went, oh my God, that's the ADHD diagnosis. So I was telling everybody that you were on the program, and we had a discussion one day. I think it was either in a one-to-one or a group call, and I said, do you think you could be ADHD, Rachel?
No, and then that was just like, wow, I couldn't be any more ADHD. Yeah, good thing. Like, I'm stepping into that thing of it is a good thing. I mean, but we all have the times where, like yesterday, it was like, oh man, it's so sort of getting in my way. But it is around regarding that your mindset. It's like connecting the change and understanding ADHD and using it as a powerful thing.
Yeah. That's what I've been discussing as I've been talking through these points here. I've just been talking through them, and people are going, oh my God, that's me. And this is what happens, isn't it? Because there's such a connection. You join the creative mastermind, even though from the outside view, people wouldn't describe you as a creative, but you'd had many businesses, hadn't you?
Yeah. Loads of different businesses, from play cafes to training academies to little cafes on the corner. And just because I love that initial buzz, excitement, shiny object syndrome, as I now know that as, I would just get bored and then go, what's next?
Which is why you came to me, isn't it? You were like, I keep doing this and I'm not making any money. And, you know, I get really, really bored. It's one of the biggest symptoms, I think, with creatives is staying on task until you turn it into something. It's a hard thing, isn't it, to do?
It really is. But now I've got, you know, such an exciting opportunity that I'm actually getting paid, and you know, to support other ADHD people, and it is absolutely fantastic. Because with you, Mandy, obviously every week I would come to the call and go, I really want to earn 30 grand. That was my number. And that is the number now. It's happening, and it is just in the alignment of my purpose. The thing that gets us really excited, that gets us up in the morning, and really nailing down with your support and guidance what it is that I get excited about, what it is I won't get bored about. And if I do bored, how can I create that into a job and change constantly and engaged?
That's what I've just been talking about, this need, this inability to stay on task, this thing that happens with us as creatives, and how as long as we're aware of it and we can fill those gaps with things to do, and we find what is our passion and follow that passion and create a strategic business from it, then we can survive, can't we? So you've now made connections with an agency that funds people back to work who are diagnosed with all sorts of disabilities. Talk about that for us so I can let the ladies know.
Well, I am now part of the team at Celebrate Difference, and Celebrate Difference was created by our founder and Nicola Little. Now, Nicola was diagnosed in her 40s with ADHD, and then she started a community called Celebrate Difference. Now, she recruited me to support her to drive the business forward, because it's a social enterprise. So we still, drive a business forward, but also have that income element as well. And having the passion of social enterprise myself, I was like, what an opportunity to work collaboratively with Celebrate Difference. And then through what's called Access to Work, we have now got the opportunity to work with as many neurodivergent people across the country to support them to strive and really create and grow their business. And everything that you have been doing with me, and now I'm able to share the knowledge and the passion with others across the country. So it's really, really exciting. And then I thought, actually, Mandy, you and your program could be and can be, and it is already happening. You've done it with one of your ladies, but haven't you? That Access to Work can actually support your people on your program and on your teaching and on your learning. So then we were thinking, right, so how do we showcase this to your creative audience? Because a lot of your ladies in your group have either got dyslexia or going through the process of ADHD, bipolar. So you don't even need a diagnosis. It's if you find there's a struggle or a barrier from you either understanding what words mean, what numbers mean, growing your business, we have to be able to support you to grow that business and have the support in place. Like myself, like you, Mandy, like all the other support workers, specialists that we can call upon to make your business stay, instead of getting excited and then going, oh, I'm bored of that, I'm burnt out now. We can support you with strategies to support you to make your business sustainable and you well. So it's a fantastic opportunity for people right now. You can apply now. There is about a 20-week waiting list, but in the meantime, as a Celebrate Difference can support you with that. So we do like mindset calls if you're not ready yet to jump on programs or anything like that, you haven't got the funding in place. We do have sort of support plans in place to keep you on track before your award starts as well. So that's a little bit different from other organisations.
That's brilliant. And having done that already, because like you say, one of my clients went through an agency called This Is Me, who did the same thing through Access to Work, was supported, and it paid for the creative mastermind. And that lady is Dr. Rebecca Williams-Dinsdale, who is very successful author, has just launched her 4th book and has a business now that makes her money. So it doesn't, Rebecca is a doctor, but she had a serious medical condition that was restricting her. She was even told by the doctors she wouldn't be able to work. And we've made that work. And the difference between a lot of the programs that you are seeing on your newsfeed that are promising you the earth and telling you that they can make you a millionaire and get you on rails with your businesses, they are not made for neurodivergent people. They are not made for creatives. They are not made for people who are experiencing or think they are ADHD or anything else on the spectrum. So they will never work for you. You could go and spend $2,000 on a program and be no better. You've done this yourself, haven't you, Rachel? Yeah,
completely. Yes.
So my program is designed by a creative for creative. It's flexible. It works with you. It's not something that, here you go, it's not a cookie cutter program where you are restricted, because you cannot be restricted as ADHD, a creative, or anything else. So if there is now funding available for people who really want to work with me, is it just in the UK? So let's ask that question first.
So why I put myself on mute there's a dog in the background and I'm thinking he was just about to bark. So I was like, don't is for that one. So it is just for the UK. But what we've done is we're actually working with someone in Australia. Now we've just replicated this support package that we've created and they are paying for that. So they're paying for that support. So there's always a way, isn't there, Mandy? As you talked about, there's always so it is just UK businesses.
So it can be anywhere in the UK. So wherever you are situated in the UK, then you could potentially tap into this funding to work with me, do my creative mastermind, or to work with another support worker that would be right for you through this agency. So step one is to book a call with Rachel, and I've put the link in the description above. Start by actually having a conversation about this. And if you are thinking, oh my God, that's me, when I'm reading out from this list, then actually take this. If you're struggling to get your business online, if you're struggling to get your head around business, it could be that we're just checking, is it available in Northern Ireland? We've got a question.
Oh, Northern Ireland. I will go and investigate and I'll be on that. I'll do my ADHD on it, hyper focus, and I'll go out. And I'll come back on that message for you. Not a problem.
I've got quite a few ladies from Northern Ireland on the last 5-day challenge. And actually, one of them is with me in the Creative Mastermind. So, yeah, I mean, we are inclusive anywhere in the world. So that's why I asked about whether it's everywhere, because I've got, people from America on the program, etc. So, yeah, I think, at the end of the day, this is not me saying you are ADHD when I'm doing this, when I'm talking about this. However, the traits are there. The traits are there. Go and download this document and read it. Honestly, it's been on my website for such a long time. And when I usually read it out in the 5-day challenge and everybody goes, oh my God, that's me. I'm all 35. And there are 35 points on here. And what we want to say to you is it is absolutely possible. And Rachel is a prime example of it's absolutely possible to be ADHD and to have a business, because you've done it, you've followed your passion, you do it every day now, you're making a difference in the world. But other people, you're not jumped on the ADHD bandwagon, which a lot of people are doing right now, and calling themselves ADHD coaches, which really niggles me.
Yes, because actually, so far I haven't actually found accreditation to say that you're an ADHD coach. But anybody out there has, then please do share, because I would love to go and have a look at that accreditation. But yeah, there's a lot of people saying that they are ADHD coach, but how? I want to know how. Yes, you might have experiences yourself, and that's okay. But accreditation and guidance of the right type, it makes us wonder sometimes. So yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, it does niggle me, because I think it's important, isn't it, to get the right help. Like I say, you've tried several times to do lots of different things.
Yeah.
And it was when we said, look, this is normal for you, because this is your part of you tried so many different things, didn't you? And nothing quite fit.
Oh, no.
And it was that saying, okay, this is normal. This is what it could be. So let's find something that fits.
Completely. And understanding, this is part of my developmental of my brain.
Yeah.
It's not because I had bad parenting, It is my brain was formed like this. And it isn't about a boy jumping around in the classroom, because a lot of people think that. I am a 35-year-old woman, has just been, a year ago found out that this is how my brain is different. But it's a long time now to understand your difference, to then put that in place to make that empowerment. And what it's freeing. It really is.
It is. Becca is now doing a degree in art and design, because creativity is how she's made sense of ADHD. And that's how Dan made sense of his autism.
Yeah.
And I think that's why there's such a connection between the two. because it's a great way. Creativity is a great way of making sense. In fact, to advertise this, I just put a picture of you painting that canvas in my studio when you came over here.
Because it's on the wall. Oh, I don't know if I can turn you around. But anyway, there's a picture. I framed it. I had my ADHD clutter coach help me put that on the wall, because like anything else, you do it, you get really proud of it, but then it goes in the cupboard, or you lose it, or you don't put it anywhere. And she went, this is something that you're really proud of. This to you said your painting skills was how your brain was at the time.
Yep.
So I'll take a picture and show everybody.
Yes, do that. Show it in the group. Lisa's saying dance is her creative outlet. It was for my daughter. My daughter, you dance a lot as well. You're movement coach, and Becca did dance from 3 years old until she was 18. So, and then she discovered it was painting she wanted to do. So creativity flows through many different things, doesn't it? And you very rarely stop, do you? You're usually dancing about,
And she's just dancing in the kitchen thinking I'm Beyonce. But it's fun. It's having fun.
It is. It's helped you make sense, though, hasn't it, of your brain being able to channel all of the things that are going up here into the things that you do every day. Yes. So
how my brain is, it's classed. It's like, I'll use it as like it's a motor, and a motor has to keep to feel good, to be good. For me, it's keep moving, and even if right now sitting here, I can feel my foot going and my hands are going flappy, but that is how I sort of keep my brain well, by constantly moving. And I am medicated now, but I'm still very very ADHD, sort of loudness and jumping around. But also notice when I'm in a very busy public space, I go into myself, like a very quiet. And now I do that is because if I say something, it might not make sense to the world, so I just sit back. But now I'm aware of that, and say like team meetings or meetings online, people I share that with someone. So I say, if I say something it doesn't make sense, it's because my brain is going so fast. I don't want to look stupid by saying something that doesn't make sense. But if I tell people that, and they're aware of that it's the adaptations, that's access to work, let me understand about myself. So
my daughter experienced that so much. She wouldn't go in shops without me when she was younger, and she feels, but I discussed that. It's on that document where you're light and dark. You're either an extrovert or an introvert. You're both. Because that it depends on the situation, doesn't it? So if there's ladies watching this today and they are thinking, oh my God, that might be me, first port of call, just ring you, let you book a call with you.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to. Just even if it's, just want to talk about, actually, I'm waiting to be diagnosed. We're building a community of people who want to chat about their findings, their thoughts, their journey. So please do come and have a call with us. It'll be lovely.
And what would you say to anybody who's thinking, goodness, that may be me, I just can't seem to get anything nailed down? What would you say to them?
I would say that you're not broken and you're not a failure. Absolutely not, because that's the words that I was saying to myself over and over again, that I was broken, that I was failing. And actually, I haven't been guided right yet. And as soon as I get the guidance in the right way, then life changes. So the awakening of neurodivergence is life changing. So just keep a note, keep writing things that you find a struggle. You might lose it, but if you can keep a note on the phone or something like that, and then come to somebody like myself, who there's a safe space set with boundaries that you can offload, and then we can make a plan together. So you're
doing amazing work now. You're doing amazing work, Rachel. I'm so proud of where you've come from and where you are now, and how you've owned this so openly in public, and how you're sharing it. It's an amazing thing. And you're one of the people that people should consider coming to, instead of hiring an ADHD coach that they don't know anything about. Seriously, do your research, because it could do more damage than good.
Definitely.
And that's what you really don't need when you are already struggling with your brain. Yeah. So thank you for joining us today. And thank you for sharing this opportunity that may be there. There's ladies in this group that have been like, I'd love to do Mandy's program. I can't, there's no way I could access that. I can't afford it. This is offering them a route where they may be able to do it in the future, and it may be funded. So I think that is an amazing thing. I love the fact that I can do that in the world. So great. Fabulous, good stuff. Thank you so much, Rachael. Michelle saying amazing, so interesting, lovely to meet you, Rachael. You rock. She really does. She really does. Okay, thank you, everybody. I'll see you not next Tuesday morning, because I'm going to visit my mum. I'm at a meeting and I'm going to visit my mum in Northumberland. So my live will be Monday next week, not Tuesday. And that goes for Tuesday night as well. I'll be doing it Monday night. I will advertise that. So I'll see you all next Monday. Thank you for watching today. Any queries, you know where to go now. You know this lady now. Go and harass her. Thank you very much, Rachael. Bye.